So Rockstar recently teased the upcoming 2024 winter DLC for GTA Online in a recent community post on their Newswire, basically talking about some details regarding the new business and some other features they're going to be adding to the game going into 2025. Now, to quickly summarize things, this new DLC is going to bring a new robbery business that'll operate out of the Darnell Bros garment factory returning from single player, and it's also going to involve Pavel, which is great, as well as some other characters, which generally seems like a cool concept. Rockstar also went on to mention that they'd be adding some other quality of life features to the game, beefing up the GTA Plus benefits, and finally also bringing the expanded and enhanced editions to PC in 2025. They don't indicate when in 2025, but at least it's nice to hear that they're going to be doing it. Now, to be honest, this doesn't seem like too crazy of an update for me. I'm not sure of the size of the update, but I'm thinking it's going to be relatively small. But nonetheless, it's really nice to see Rockstar continue adding content to GTA Online. Now, to follow this up, a few days after this Newswire post, Rockstar also announced that the GTA Plus benefits for November would be ending on December 9th, which heavily indicates that the DLC is going to be dropping Tuesday, December 10th. So luckily, whatever new content they're adding is not too far off. So those are currently all of the details that we know of so far. And of course, you guys can always take a deeper look at the Newswire post that's going to be linked in the description. Now, given that this post does make a brief reference to Rockstar adding drift tuning to the Vinewood Club Garage for GTA Plus members, it seems that at bare minimum, drifting is on Rockstar's radar, and that could mean we've got some new drifting content on the way. Naturally, as with any new DLC on the horizon, I've obviously been thinking about a small wish list of some cars and changes or features that us drifters would love to see added to the game, and the goal of this video is to go run through some of those, so let's get to it. Alright, so first off, we gotta talk about some cars that absolutely need a drift tuning upgrade. The first car that hands down needs and deserves this upgrade the most is the Annis LEG Retro Custom. As you guys know, in real life, Skylines have been slowly becoming more popular drift chassis, so it would just make sense to have it here in GTA 5. Plus, the LG Retro already has a bunch of drift-inspired customization options, so it would fit the drift aesthetic perfectly. Now, while more advanced drifters can slide this thing already with low grip tires and using the all-wheel drive mid-drive speed boost, making this car more accessible to other players so they could have fun drifting with it too would be an awesome addition for Rockstar to add. Another car that I think would benefit a lot from having access to drift tuning is the Dinka Jester Classic. In my opinion, this car is total garbage as it is. It feels nothing like a Supra. Relative to some other JDM cars in the game, it has pretty piss poor customization, and it has handling flags, so it just isn't a great car to drive or customize. Adding drift tuning to it and possibly adding some additional drift inspired customization options, or maybe let me dream a little bit, a Benny's upgrade, that would be absolutely awesome, and it's another car that I think is well deserving of some upgraded customization. The Karen S95 is also another great candidate for a drift car. This is one of those JDM cars that kind of flew under the radar, and I think would do well to have some more customization options and drift tuning to match the vibe of the real world counterpart for this car, which is of course the Scion FRS, Subaru BRZ, Toyota 86. Generally a pretty cool car that I wish Rockstar showed a little bit more love to. Now obviously we've also got the remaining cars from the Tuners DLC that have yet to be given access to drift tuning, so adding the drift tuning option to those cars would also be really nice to see. If I had my picks from the remaining DLC cars, I'd say the Karen Previon because it's a pretty underrated car, and in real life the SC300 and SC400 chassis, or Toyota Sora I guess too, it's been starting to gain some popularity in the drifting scene, so it'd be awesome to see that reflected in GTA 5. In addition, the Vapid Dominator GTT to really fit the Tokyo Drift vibe. We already have the Urus with drift tuning, so it'd be nice to have another Tokyo Drift car to be able to access drift tuning. In addition, the Volker Warner HKR, this is another pretty underrated car from that update that I think would do well with some love, and also it does generally handle pretty well as a drift car already, so it'd be nice to see what this handles like with drift tuning. And rounding out that list of other Tuners DLC cars, maybe the Dinka RT3000 as well. It's already got some cool, quirky, drift-inspired customization, so I think it would do well with that upgrade too. In addition, some of the other Benny's cars that we have in GTA 5 already would be awesome drift tuning candidates. The Sultan RS is obviously one of them given the Tokyo drift-inspired customization and the general vibe of the car. The Banshee 900R for pretty much the same reasons, and possibly the Comet Retro Custom to mix up the lineup a bit and add some more Euro flair to it. Now obviously there are tons of other cars that are great candidates for drift tuning, but those seem to be the most popular ones. As always, Rockstar could always add some totally brand new tuner type cars with drift tuning. That would be so awesome for them to do, especially given the success of the recent Vorschlaghammer, which I know the community loved. So we've covered a bunch of worthy drift tuning car candidates, so now I'm going to pivot over and cover some features and changes that I think Rockstar absolutely needs to implement with this new DLC. Now the first main thing, which is one that I've yapped and complained about quite a lot actually, is just for Rockstar to fix the damn upgrade system for the drift tuning cars. It seems like Rockstar just loves making these cars slower and slower and slower with each update. While technically this is Rockstar trying to balance the game and fix bugs that were introduced when drift tuning was first added to the game, the way they've gone about addressing it is the total opposite of what the community has wanted. Rather than making a concerted effort to make the drift tuning cars slower and more boring to drive, I wish Rockstar would just let us upgrade the drift tuning cars like normal cars, and then maybe add an option in races to remove the effects of some power upgrades just for the sake of keeping those races balanced. I really don't think it would be that hard of a system for Rockstar to implement. It would probably take the same amount of effort as they've already put into patching the freaking system in the first place, so it just makes sense for them to put their time towards something that would actually be fun for the players. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If you guys have been keeping up with the channel, you know how infuriated I've been about all of this, and I just wish Rockstar would make the system more fun instead of trying all of these stupid band-aid nerfs and patches. Another thing I think that Rockstar needs to patch is the broken drift camera for the 3 most recent drift tuning cars. This is a super noticeable and annoying bug because the drift camera doesn't even work in first person for these new cars, and in third person the camera awkwardly resets itself and goes crazy whenever you press the handbrake. A nice added benefit of the drift tuning upgrade is the drift camera, which makes drifting in these cars a lot easier to visualize, and it kind of sucks to drive these new drift tuning cars without that camera functioning properly. Some other features I think Rockstar could lean into have to do with tandem drifting. As myself and thousands of other creators have proven, tandem drifting is not only possible, but is relatively easy and smooth to do in GTA Online with the drift tuning upgrade, and I think there's a lot of room there to build up the drift racing system and possibly have dedicated races for tandeming closely with other players. It would be awesome to have a sort of head-to-head competition type race where you're not only scored based on how you fill all of the existing zones or get near clipping points, but also based on your proximity to another driver, with deductions of course coming from contact or not following closely enough. While desync and lag might make this system a little bit harder to implement reliably, I still think it's a cool idea that would add a whole new dimension of fun to the current drift racing system. And now that I also think about it, a sort of ghost car feature with drifting would also be cool to help practicing tandems, and could also be a worthwhile addition for the broader racing community as well. To further improve the drift racing system, getting some additional drifting maps with more thoughtful layouts would be really nice. While some of the existing drift races do play alright, there are others where it seems like barely any care was taken to put green multiplier zones or precision drift markers in the right spots. As it turns out, there have actually been some featured community drift maps that do play a lot better than the ones Rockstar has made, so here's hoping Rockstar takes some inspiration from them, or at least starts featuring those custom drift maps more frequently in community playlists. Rockstar has also generally kept a good cadence with updating the map creators features, so I'm hoping they keep this momentum up with even more features in the upcoming DLC, so that way the caliber of these custom drift maps can keep getting better. And finally, another feature that would just be pure fun for us drifters is the manual transmission that Rockstar added with the drag races in a recent DLC. Having at least the option to enable or disable this feature in drift races and or in free mode would be really cool, and it would add a whole new dimension of difficulty for competitive drifting in GTA Online. Again, this is already a feature that Rockstar's got coded up, so giving us more freedom to use that functionality with our drift cars and potentially in other game modes or in free mode wouldn't be that hard for them to do, and would definitely make things a lot more fun and exciting. Now obviously there are a slew of other cars and features that Rockstar could add, but I think for what seems to be a pretty small and run-of-the-mill DLC, this list touches on the most realistic and feasible changes that they could make. Here's hoping that this new DLC will deliver on at least some of these wishes and keep the drifting community alive at least for a few more months, because I know it's been getting rough out there for us. As always, if you guys have any input for more cars and features you think you'd like to see Rockstar add with the winter DLC, feel free to let me know down below in the comments, and while you're at it, do consider leaving a like on this video and subscribing to my channel, so that way you can stay up to date with everything drifting in GTA 5, as that's what I always do my best to cover here on this channel. But in the meantime, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video.